You can change everything about your status, but to the people around you, you will still be a Christian. And that's what they don't like. People in the first century, they could have changed their slave status. They become a freedman, and you know what? Now you're a free Christian, and we don't like Christians. And so many times we're bent on changing our status so that people like us. And at the end of the day, we're still a Christian, and that's the problem. And when you're bent on gaining status, you're eventually going to have to consider giving up your Christianity. Because it's not real popular these days to say Jesus is the only way to heaven. Because you know what? There's a bunch of religions out there. How dare you say you're the ones that are right? You can change everything about your status. But to the people around you, to the world around you, you will still be a Christian. You won't get what you want out of it. Here's the second proposition. You can change nothing into Christ. You will still be a Christian. Christ doesn't care about that. He didn't save you because you were respected in the world. And if you are the poorest person in the world and God saved you as the poorest person in the world, that can never change. You can be the poorest person in the world when you die, and you will still be a Christian. You know why? Because Christ's love for you doesn't depend on your social status. It just doesn't. You can change everything about you, and to the world, you will still be a Christian. And you can change nothing about you, and to Christ, you will still be a Christian. You see, your standing in society is not the most important thing about you. Your standing in Christ is. And that's the third proposition I want you to understand this morning. Your standing in society is not the most important thing about you. Your standing in Christ is. That's why you can remain as you are. Now, if you're able to change it, change it. Hey, if you can improve your marriage, do it. If you can kind of maybe break away from some cultural things you don't like, do it. If you can change your economic status, do it. But realize that's not the most important thing about you. At the end of the day, Christ isn't all that impressed by how good your job is. He reigns the world, right? Everything else is a step down. He's not impressed by how much money you have. He owns it all. Everything else is a step down. It's kind of like, I like sports a good bit, a little bit. And sometimes you might see somebody who's pretty good at what they do at an amateur level. You're pretty impressed by that. I play a little golf from time to time, and I've played with some people who are pretty good. That's pretty impressive. And then I've had the fortune a time or two to play with somebody who's actually played on the PGA Tour. And it is a totally different game. It's totally different. It's just not that impressive anymore. And put that in the word. We try to change things so we can appear to be good among the amateurs. And Christ says, yeah, it's not that impressive. And I love you anyway. You see, your status in life doesn't determine Christ's love for you. Don't bend your life and your heart and your will to pursuing things that ultimately won't change. You can change everything about you, and to those around you, you will still be a Christian. And you can change nothing into Christ, you will still be a Christian. Because your status in life doesn't really matter. It's your standing in Christ that does. Are you content with that? Are you content with that? Is that enough for you?